Let's try that one more time. Please welcome John Krasinski.
I was told I was guest hosting tonight, so this is a surprise. This is a real surprise. I gotta
Surprise for you.
switch gears. My family made it. They hopped on the Amtrak. They made it.
All Krasinski's in the audience. This is so nice what's happened for you, really.
It is.
Yeah. You blew up, as the kids say.
That is true. Not in the bad way.
No.
Not in the scary way.
Yeah. When I was your age, blew up meant you exploded violently.
Correct, with
But
dynamite.
now it means terrific things are happening for you.
Thank you. Yes,
Yeah.
I'm very, very excited.
Yeah. And this is so nice. And also, I appreciate it. You're a big star now. You flew in to be on our show, which is a very nice thing to do.
Boy, are my arms tired. I mean, you got to go there.
I think you should go now.
Okay.
Goodbye, everybody.
Yeah, I did. I flew in, and you know, it's a weird thing, that red eye. It's a little.
Yeah, you took the red-eye flight, which is what is that? That you leave
18
at like
hours.
Yeah. Why did you go via Hong Kong? It seems weird. You're coming from, I guess, Los Angeles, and so that's the one that goes all night. We've all taken that flight a million times. And how did it go for you? Was it all right?
It's pretty good. You know, there was a flight attendant there. I fell asleep. I'm a quick guy who falls asleep, and I woke up in the middle of it, and I went to the bathroom. And I see the flight attendant, this guy fully locked in as if we were going down. And he's like, "What do you think you're doing?" And I was like, "Just going to the bathroom." He's like, "Not right now, you're not." And I guess there had just been a little turbulence.
Yeah.
And I said, "Okay." So I come back, and he comes over 3 minutes later. He's like, "I'm really sorry about that. Pilot said there might be a little more turbulence, and I did not want to have to pick you up off the ground." I was like, all right, man. Just an OJ for me would be great.
Yeah. Just take it down a notch.
Geez.
Now, to me, it's all about if you can get an okay seat. You know, I've got the long legs, so sometimes I like to be on the
how it is.
Yeah.
I actually just went to Seattle to visit a friend of mine, and my friend and I traveled together, and we ended up being, you know, seats behind each other.
Oh, you couldn't get seats next to each other? Yeah.
So I figured there would be a good Samaritan who will be willing to give up a seat. And as I'm walking up to this guy, he puts in his earphones and goes like this out the window. And I was like, that's sort of aggressive. And I said, excuse me. And he goes, "I like the window." And I was like, okay. And then I looked at my friend like, "You're on, man." And he turned to his guy. And this guy literally must have heard the guy in front of him. And he goes, "I also like the window." And he looked like the Hall of Presidents. Like he was like, "I also like the window."
Yeah.
And he was like an animatronic figure. It was very weird.
Yeah.
And without any prompting, we hadn't even asked him yet, the guy on the other side on the aisle to sit across from us goes, "Leg room, man, leg room." And I was like, okay, you know what? And then finally some guy was like, "I'll do it if you promise not to lean your chair back." So I said yes, and the whole flight I was like this.
Yeah.
And so after all that work, my friend and I didn't even talk to each other.
What kind of creeps are flying on this plane?
I don't know, my family was with me.
Well, you were just. Someone told me you were in Seattle recently,
Yeah,
and
I just did.
That's right. I don't have to sit for this crap. I really don't. I'm doing this a long time, okay? I was somewhere, and someone mentioned that you'd been in Seattle, and I don't remember where I was. I'm not a nice guy, and but the reason I'm a little fixated on Seattle, my wife's from Seattle. I go there all the time. It seems like a pretty laid-back place. Do people, because you're so famous now, do they bug you in Seattle? Or they kind of leave you alone?
Usually I'm in a bubble.
Right.
You know how it is.
It's called the celebrity bubble.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, standard issue.
Yeah.
No, it's weird because Seattle's a big music town, so I feel like they're only impressed by people. Okay.
Yeah.
Yay for the idea of music.
Yeah.
So I felt like I wouldn't really be that popular there because Pearl Jam's from there and other great bands like Nirvana.
Right.
And I walked into this bar thinking these kids are too cool for school, and certainly they were. And then this girl comes up and she goes, "John Krasinski." And I was like, "Yeah." And she's like, "John Krasinski?" And I was like, "Yes, that is me." And she sits next to me and she just goes, "John Krasinski." And I was like, "Oh, wow." And my friend starts dying laughing. He's like, "This is fantastic." So I was like, "No, it's not." And we got up and went to another side of the room and didn't see her for the rest of the night. Heard her a couple times, muffled in the background. But then we got into a cab, and sure enough, at the window, straight up horror film, we were like, "All right, can we just go?" And she goes, "John Krasinski." And she's like, "Where are you guys going?" And I was like, "The hotel." And she's like, "Can I come with you?" And I was like, "Nope, you can't." And she's like, and we pulled away. We were like, "Go!" And as we drove away, she was like, "John Krasinski!" That's great.
Yeah. I think I know her.
Yeah.
She bugs me whenever I'm in Seattle.
Conan.
No. She says, John Krasinski! Michael Conan! We're going to take a little break. We have so much to talk about. More with John Krasinski in just a minute.
Just some banter. Some off-camera banter.
Off-camera talk.
Did you see us in our bubble?
Yeah, that was our bubble.
They ship them out in between the breaks.
Let's talk about Leatherheads, okay?
All right.
This is a football movie that you did. And, of course, your co-star is Mr. George Clooney. He's also the director of the film. And the first question when you hear about a sports movie is the director always says to the actor, you got to go to a boot camp for, 6 months and become, super cut. Did you
Which obviously I did.
Yeah. It's right there. Doink, doink.
Ow.
It's like pudding in a suit.
Hey!
Did George Clooney make you do that?
No, the best news he gave me was saying, back then these guys were just regular dudes, so you don't have to bulk up Matt Damon, Bourne Ultimatum style.
Right.
And I was like, great, I can go back to doing what I normally do, which is pretty much nothing.
Right.
I will do the regime of getting up with a cup of coffee, eating progressively bigger meals throughout the day.
Yeah.
And then finally getting off the couch and going to work.
Yeah.
But it's funny, because I was like, this is really good news. And then I got down to set, and he was totally ripped and like the thinnest he's ever been. And I was like, that's a prank. Like, you jackass.
Yeah.
He just wanted me to be like the doughy one on camera.
Right.
He's like, yeah, let's do more shots. Just get us in a 2, always.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, you know what?
This is the scene where we both take our shirts off.
You're ready for this, right, John?
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Well, are you able to gain weight if you want? I mean, I went through a whole period in my life where I could not gain weight if I want. I could eat a bank safe and not gain weight.
So many people hate you for saying that.
I know, but I was always this hyper kid that was like, hey, let's eat some more food, and it all went up here. Like all my body fat became this swirly cone on my head.
Yes.
It's not like that anymore. But
I can gain weight. If you see any pictures from college, I gained the freshman 45.
just lost.
People are like, oh, do you play football? And I was like, no.
Yeah.
I just go here.
Okay, now I'm curious. You've obviously, because you shot this movie, it takes a long time to shoot a movie. You must be hanging out with George Clooney a lot.
All the time.
Okay.
Cannot get rid of that.
People hate you for saying that. I can't gain weight. I hang out with Clooney. We're both hated. Are you ever in public with George Clooney? Because ever in public with him when people recognize you, like young fans, and they maybe don't recognize him?
Oh,
I would
God.
think you're getting to the point where that might start to happen.
With my family, always.
Yeah.
No, it's funny. I might get in trouble for saying this, but there was a day that I'm sure he doesn't remember. We left the hotel in North Carolina, and there was this group of like 5 or 6 girls waiting outside, and they followed us a block behind. They were very good at it, like CIA style.
Yeah.
And then we took a left turn on a block and got a pretty good distance ahead, and they started yelling, John! John! Which sounds like George. And he's like, John! And George is like, I usually will stop because he's very good about it. He's like, but we're having dinner right now. I'm in the middle of this. Sorry, guys, not today. Sorry. And the producer that was walking with us was like, don't say anything.
It's so great.
Yeah.
Well, because we've all had that moment. I don't know if this has ever happened to you. We've all had that moment where it's like, someone comes up to you at a restaurant with a pen and a piece of paper, and you're like, all right, who do I make this up to? And they're like, it's the bill, you jackass.
Yeah, exactly. All right, who's taking this one?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Right. I'll just
like
do
very obvious.
only one, and then that's it. Sign for the check, you idiot. We have a clip here from Leatherheads that I want to show. And of course, as you said, this takes place in the 30s. This is the time in football when they actually wore the leather helmets, and we've all seen
Totally
those.
protective.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it'll prevent all concussions. It's funny, even though I didn't work out, I actually am a pretty naturally strong dude, so I can run and carry my own weight. I mean, I can literally carry the weight of another guy like 100 yards.
Wow, that's impressive. Are we going to see anything? Is this?
Yeah, it's one of the action scenes in the movie.
Let's take a look at this clip from Leatherheads. Wow, this is going to be a good movie.
That was pretty much a day-to-day thing. That's the behind-the-scenes footage.
I have to say, the cinematography is horrible.
I know. George really wanted that, this is terrible look.
Let's now show a real clip from Leatherheads.
What? Wait a minute.
Sorry.
That is the movie.
Yeah. What do we have to know about this? This is...
This is me getting out a little rage. George and I vie for one Renee Zellweger. Mm-hmm. Thanks, America. I'm happy about it. And basically, I find out that he may or may not be winning the battle in this scene.
Let's take a look at this clip from Leatherheads, I think.
Where were you two?
Nowhere.
Did you kiss her?
Now, wait a minute.
I want answers!
Yeah, I kissed her on the mouth twice, and I liked it a lot.
Oh, you did you?
Yeah.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Okay, well, we can do this right here, or we can go outside.
Get him, Dodge.
We got a game in 5 days.
What?
What, do you think you're gonna hurt me?
I might.
Did you hear what he just called me?
He's a little drunk.
Drunk? You coward?
Really? Because your sleeve's on fire.
Really? Ah! Ah! Ah!
It's funny.
It's funny.
Leatherheads opens tomorrow.
It does.
Yeah, this is... we're all very excited for you. This is very cool. Leatherheads
Thank you
opens
very
tomorrow,
much.
and The Office, people are really waiting for this show to come back. Yes. They're all here. Your family, big fans of that show. The Office returns next Thursday night at 9 on NBC, the best network ever.
Ever.
John Krasinski, everybody. We'll take a break.
Oh, man.
Bodie Miller.